Okay.
I heard him.
I heard him.
Yep.
Me. I
Okay.
Hey.
I can hear people now.
Okay.
We up.
Chris?
We up.
Okay.
Maybe
You hear
move
me?
that. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Yes.
Maybe a little closer
Yes.
would be good.
Yeah. Yes.
That'll work.
Good. Good.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Okay. All right. Are we good to get on? Yep. All right. So expert mode's not normally unlocked. When you start up the game, you have to beat it once on normal, but there's this cool thing called the Konami Code, so we're just going to go ahead and do it that way. So, yep. Okay. Basically, when the screen comes on after character select, that'll be time. So let's go 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so welcome to Castlevania Bloodlines. This is one of the last classic-style CVs made during the 16-bit era. It's the only Genesis Castlevania. It shares a lot of things from classic Castlevanias and then a lot of its own unique twists. So as you can see, we're not actually playing as a whip user this time. We're going to be playing with Eric Lecard. He's using the Alucard Spear, which is a mistranslation of the Alucard Spear. So the big caveat in running Castlevania Bloodlines is there's actually a third-level weapon upgrade. I did not get it because that Bible is a 50-50 drop to give it to me, but basically you see I have like a second-level spear now. There's actually a third-level spear. There's only 2 ways to get it. That Bible in the hidden wall, like I said, is a coin flip to give it to you, or the next way to get it is you break 30 candles that don't contain sub-weapons, and then you will get both the upgraded spear and a special sub-weapon. The caveat is you get hit while you have that, you automatically lose it. And the damage increase from both the spear and the utility of the super sub-weapon is gigantic. So this run is very, very punishing when you get hit when you're running for time. Marathon style, the big thing about expert mode is the only real changes are, one, there's more enemies in certain areas, more bats flying past, that kind of thing. But the big problem is that everything hits like a truck in damage values for expert mode. So this is the first kind of neat trick in the run. If I can space it right, perfect. That's about a 2-pixel window to do that super jump next to the bone pillar. Hey, Gatekeeper Skeleton, what are you doing? Out. Usually I would do the super jump from that spike platform, but somebody wanted some airtime, so we let him have it. So the super jump mechanic is something that's kind of different compared to most Castlevanias. Basically, you charge down for a couple frames, and then you're able to do that super jump. It doesn't do much damage, but Lecard is completely invulnerable for the duration of it, so it's super useful for climbing areas and then just general utility. The whip character, John Morris, has a similar thing where he takes his whip and attaches to a ceiling and is completely invulnerable, but no whips today. We're just going to play spear time. Bone Dragon, what do you want to do today? Nope, okay. No. Fine.
Good stair grab.
Yep. Alright, so since we didn't get the spear drop, we're actually going to have to fight the first boss without our upgraded weapon, which is going to slow it down, but that's just kind of marathon luck in a nutshell. This is Armor Battler. He is the most random boss in the game, even when fought optimally, so I have to really respect his footsies and be careful. He has a ton of health because the big difference between the two characters is Lecard is the speed-style character, while Morris is kind of the more power-style character. Morris does a lot of damage, but doesn't quite have the mobility and general speed that Lecard has. That's a really good fight for spear only. Yeah. So we'll take that all day.
He didn't just jump the entire fight.
Yeah, no, he didn't want to do his Air Jordan impression today, so that just means other bosses are going to save up for us. It'll be fun.
Or walk forward and do the spin move. That's a good play.
Yeah.
So here in the next stage, I'll break enough candles and you'll get to see the super spear, and we'll see how long I can hold on to it. So stage 2 has some really calming music. If you played Circle of the Moon, you probably know this track because it plays all the time in that game. So the Minotaurs have a lot of health, but they have no iframes between their hit stuns, so the boomerang, while it doesn't do much damage, is really useful there. So this is our upgraded spear. Hopefully Troll Merman don't take it away from me. Okay, good. Nice. This is going to be our first auto-scroller section that leads up to a rather interesting mini-boss rush. So basically the screen just climbs. If the water ever gets well above your sprite height, you will actually start taking damage. It's pretty generous, but we're just never going to let it get close to us. So this climb's pretty basic. There's not a lot that goes on here. This is a good example of a change in expert mode. These ghosts you see in this area do not exist in normal mode. So this one that's going to spawn, you wouldn't have to deal with. Goodbye, 1-Up.
Just so you know, that Mirror's Edge incentive has been met. Someone donated $110 for that MC DeCow. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay, so we're about the end of the auto scroller here. We're going to super jump up, wait for a Minotaur to hopefully play nice footsies. All right, so 3 mini bosses. Hopefully you'll see about 1.5 of them.
Yeah.
So Water Mage is pretty clever. He'll teleport away from you unless you have your back turned to him, and then he kind of malfunctions. So rest in peace, Water Mage.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So the next mini boss, I'm going to grab the axe and throw an item crash. Yeah, he's gone. Bye. Okay, this is really difficult. Get stomped.
Nice.
So that fight, even though you didn't get to see it, every jump between that axe swing that the Golem is doing off screen is about a 2-frame window, and if you're late on any of your spear cancels, you actually won't have enough time to do it. For this next section, I'm going to let Medusa hit me to get rid of the powered-up spear, because we're going to actually utilize damage boosts. In Bloodlines, it's really difficult to use damage boosts because, again, losing your fully upgraded weapon and the super sub-weapon is so detrimental to killing bosses in this game. And this speedrun is almost entirely about boss efficiency, because between mini-bosses and regular bosses, there are 22 fights in this game over 6 stages. But this is one of the cases where being able to damage boost in the next section is actually more preferable than keeping the powered-up spear. I actually didn't know this when I was routing Lacard. This particular part of the route came from Joe Stansky, who did the original Lacard run. And he's like, "Did you know about this?" And I said, "No, when did you do that?" "Oh, 2 years ago. I just didn't get it in the run, was too lazy to do it again." Turns out it was like 20 seconds faster than my strats.
Yep.
Because Stansky's the man. So these mace guys are really interesting. If you hit them in the head, nothing happens, but the spear's so fat it just kills them instantly. And running into them is 1 point of damage, but if they hit you with their mace, it's like, I don't know, infinity. Way too much. Bone Dragon. No. Okay.
Wow.
No. No. Okay.
Easy, boy. Easy.
He made his mark.
That is one of the most terrifying sections in this whole run, is right there. The Bone Dragon is really, really good at setting up unblockables, so we'll take that pattern every time. So now we're going to recollect the power-up, get rid of this Bone Pillar. This is the special super sub-weapon I was talking about. I'll explain more about it as we go. You're going to get to see a lot of it here on the Stone Golem boss. So the Stone Golem boss is interesting. You have to whittle him down so you can be high enough to hit his head, unless you're Lacard, and then we're literally just going to mash the sub-weapon button and look pretty here. So you're wondering, this sub-weapon looks pretty broken, and it kind of is. You're probably wondering, well, why don't you just use this for the rest of the run and destroy the game? Well, 2 reasons. One, if you're watching my sub-weapon ammo count up there, it costs 8 sub-weapon ammo to use that per attempt. And 2, if you could probably tell, it lags the game just a tiny, tiny bit, because as the guys who did the tool-assisted speedrun, Truncated and Samhan Grimm found out, that attack does collision detection on every frame for every projectile on screen. So there's ostrich pose.
Nice.
You can't see me. My head's in the ground. So that's a stellar stage 2. That would actually be on par with my actual PB. So
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really good. Hi, Harpies. So these guys are the worst thing ever. They're super random, and occasionally when you do enough damage to kill them, their heads pop off and they go into a bleed animation that lags the game harder than even the super sub weapon. So we would prefer they not do that, but Murph is sitting here going, "Please, all of you pop heads," because I'm going to laugh at Klaige.
They don't.
I don't care here. It's the next instance
Right.
that
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
hoping for.
That hit
That's
is also
the
intentional.
winner.
You're going to see with Lacard, there's a lot of instances where I'll go ahead and sacrifice the spear because I don't really need the damage. And while I could keep it for the duration of the stage, there's some random stuff, mainly these Harpies, that could take it away and then prevent me from having it for the boss where it's most useful. So that's by far the best way to go about it. That's fine. One hit is perfectly fine there. But that's what I'm talking about. If I had taken that hit with the spear, I wouldn't be able to get it back. Here's a mini-boss. Standard Castlevania Bone Dragon. Yep, the door's right there, but they're not letting me leave until I kill that.
There's not even a door. It's just an open passage.
Yep. Well, I mean, he thinks there's a door. So, welcome to Blast Processing. We're gonna...
They were pretty jealous of Mode 7 at this
point. Little bit. It's neat. I would be totally fine with this if it didn't make edge detection really terrible at random times and cause you to fall to the abyss. If you haven't gathered, by the way, we're actually climbing the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now. Rather than taking place in all of Transylvania, Bloodlines actually has you going around all of Europe to do things in the World War I era. So, basically the rest of this stage is auto-scrolling. There's one brief room with mummies after this, but if there's some donations, this is a good time to get some of those in, because this is, yeah, you're seeing what you're getting here for a little bit.
Perfect. Well, we have a $100 donation from Anonymous. They say, I know it isn't much, but anything for charity is money well spent. Put this money towards killing the animals. By the way, that is a lot for me, so thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So modest.
Zulch gave $50 and said, hey, GDQ, thanks for hosting such an amazing event. The Castlevania block makes my childhood cry as the runners burn through these seemingly impossible games. Just a fan, I had fun racing with you on Wind Waker and Mario Bros. 3. Still looking forwards to that Mario Sunshine race. Good luck. Love, Zulchi.
So yeah, another auto-scroller. We're building a space bridge outside the Leaning Tower of Pisa now because... I don't know, Dracula had extra funds this game. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So Klaige gets to kind of cheat this next section because these enemies are kind of annoying, but Klaige just super jumps them off screen and gets rid of some lag frames, so this is a good place for that. And basically, if things go right, once I get to the top of the stage right before the boss, I'll get my spear back. But for this boss, I'll actually want the axe instead of the super sub-weapon. What are you doing over there? That's not the right way. Go away.
You don't want this nice holy water you've got here?
Look, let's not talk about holy water. Holy water had a bad day in this game, all right? It wasn't on its best behavior, so it got the nerf bat a tiny bit.
It killed a bird earlier.
It did. It killed 2 birds with 1 shot, and it looks really impressive. Unfortunately, it does no damage and has a terrible hitbox. So, hey, there we go. Perfect. So back when I first ran this game, I used to have to count candles, but now I just kind of know where I am at all times. So that gargoyle boss, Klaige looks really lazy while he fights this. It takes 3 cycles no matter what you do. Damage is cut off at each cycle. But Klaige just likes to stand here and not really move a bunch. Just let the bat run into the spear for him. This last cycle will actually, move a little bit just for the sake of not being totally lazy. Perfect.
Nice.
So the Wiggletron I'm doing here is not just to kill time, but the flame animation on the spear actually can cause extra lag frames with other stuff that's going on. And there's a certain mashing where if you turn back and forth, you can actually keep the flame off screen a little bit. So, and now it's time to be scared because stage 4 is happening. This is by far the most difficult and technical stage in the game. It has a really bad instance of RNG that can cause a lot of pain, so we'll see how this goes. But basically what I'm going to be doing is losing the spear early again to set up the most commanding damage boost in the game that saves a ton of time, but it's also the riskiest one to do. That's good. I would much rather take that hit than run into the skeleton. So the bone does 3 damage, running into the skeleton and the barrel does 4, and that 1 point of damage matters a lot. So we're in a Japanese World War I munitions factory, and the skeletons really like the helmets, so they're just kind of chilling in here.
I still think they're brain slugs.
If they're brain slugs, there ain't nothing left. Those guys are going hungry fast. Alright, so some treadmills here. Gotta love treadmills and platforming. Alright, so up next comes the first technical trick in this stage. We're going to try and perform a zip here. Good.
That'll do.
Alright. This room is really easy for Lacard to navigate. However, this is where RNG comes into play because I need these skeletons to not be in the way. There's one. Good. Yes, good start. Okay, I didn't get the 1 pixel jump, but we have enough health to go up here and just tank a hit. There's a 1 pixel area where you can actually bounce onto that gear. Another scary room here.
I have never once seen you fail that room, and at the same time, it terrifies me every time.
Yep.
So Frankenstein's monster stole a whip, I guess. I don't know. He's not very good with it. He tries.
You need
trying.
to make sure there was a whip in this game.
Okay, serious time. Okay, 1 down. Yep. Just a little late. So you saw the first part that I was trying to do there. I'm not going to repeat it because it's super dangerous and harder to time without the room. Ideally, what I was going to do is these blades have 4 pixels of hitbox on them. They basically kill you if you touch them at all. But what happens is they're spaced completely evenly. That's what I wanted to do, but you know, marathons. So what I want to do is have this guy boost me through the last one. This is why I gave up the spear earlier in the section. Because I wouldn't be able to take that hit and then have the spear for the boss. So, unfortunately, now we get to do this section without the super sub-weapon and the spear, which is incredibly dangerous. What are you doing? Knock that off.
He also lost all of his
Sub-weapon ammo, which is
so,
a real problem.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, he could just throw a lot of boomerangs and be pretty safe.
Yep.
But
So we have to take this very safely now. And I should probably stop getting hit by stuff, but hey. This is one of those sections that if you can do your speedrun strat, looks great and very smooth and is simple. And then as soon as you can't, it's, yeah, it's real danger.
Yeah, this is one of the scariest rooms in the game.
Okay, it doesn't look it, but that's extremely fast given what we had to put up with strat-wise there, so. And now we're going to fight the gear boss. Again, I don't have the powered up spear, so this is going to be much slower than I would like now, but that's all right. So this boss is most notable for that he gets to kill you. He does the cutest little dance, and he is super happy that he earned his paycheck from Drac. But we're going to hopefully not see that, because I'm not really in the mood for dancing right now. Well, he is, though. Knock that off. As you can see, like, I just don't do very much damage without the spear. Yep. I'm gonna die. Okay, we might be alright now.
Wow.
It's really, really hard to deal with bosses without your damage in this game on expert mode. Trading hits is just never in your favor, so. But this is what makes running expert mode really difficult, is you know, in most Castlevania games, you get hit and it's not where you want. You take the damage, but keep kind of plowing forward. In Bloodlines, you lose minutes because you don't have your proper equipment anymore. But the nice thing is Stage 5 has a ton of candles and sub-weapon ammo, so we can get back to level really easily here. Gonna give Holy Water one more chance to shine. Good job, buddy. You did it. So this pollen doesn't actually hurt me, it just reverses left and right on my controller. So now I'm holding left to move forward instead of right, and has a set duration, so I just switch it when it's done here. Blood skeletons. Because why not? So this stage in the timed run is one of the most difficult because I actually have changed my route to never lose the spear in this stage. Obviously we don't have that option now, but that made this this stage really difficult to execute properly. So, environmental hazards like the chandeliers hurt you. They kill enemies in one shot regardless of their health, so they're super helpful to have in this section. Now we have our spear back so we can be a little bit more effective, which is nice.
Yeah, the enemies at this point in the game have so much health, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this stage is just full of axe armors and enemies that like to tank hits really hard, so.
yeah, it's actually taking him 6 hits even with this upgraded spear because the invulnerability time is so short that he can hit a lot of these enemies twice with a single swing.
Nice.
Wow. I didn't actually want to not get hit, but we'll take it. That is actually a trick from the tool-assisted speedrun that's in the new route. I was expecting to take the damage there, but we're gonna do this instead. Oh, that doesn't reach. Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering how you're going to kill him without axe.
I'm not really sure. That works. Okay. So, basically, I would have axe in that section with the powered-up spear, but in that case, recollecting the powered-up spear gave me the super sub-weapon, which is nice, but I didn't really want it there, so we had to improvise a bit.
Good. Worst possible luck here.
Oh yeah, no, harpies everywhere. Don't do it. Okay. So remember when I said harpies can have their heads pop off and bleed out? The mirror, which is this game's version of the rosary from other classic Castlevanias, where it just kills everything on screen, they can survive that with the mirror and just bleed out anyway. I've actually had practice runs where 3 harpies were on screen and all 3 popped their heads from the mirror, and I literally thought the Genesis was going to catch on fire. This boss is super interesting. Gonna wait. Just, yep.
Yeah.
So if you kill that money boss while he's in punch animation, the entire screen becomes an unblockable hitbox, and on Lacard it does 2/3 of your health.
Yeah, it's an incredible move.
I think I'm gonna be a little behind on getting the spear back, so we might have to do some creative accounting here in a second, but that's all right. Nope, we're good. Excellent. You're not there? Okay. In my last practice run, the wheelie robot decided he wanted to stick around, so we're just double-checking.
He made the play.
Yeah. So this boss is the classic, what do you see, two faces or a pillar. You can only damage this boss when it's the pillar, but it takes static damage. No matter what you hit it with, it does 2 damage. Morris has to jump to hit this, but Lacard has upstab, and upstab is really cheaty, so we're just going to utilize that. Yep. So that's as fast as you can beat that boss. If you want to be really cute like the Taz, you can leave all those projectiles on screen. They stay on through each cycle, so you can actually just play Gradius while you try to fight the boss if you would actually like it to be challenging, but we've had enough fun with challenges for now. So stage 5 boss is the Princess of Moss. My old strat used to just spam the heck out of the super sub weapon, but I've refined it, so hopefully we can do this right. Phase 1 is the hardest part. Perfect. So, surprise, Mothra.
Yep.
One more super sub. Yeah, you picked a bad hiding spot.
Yeah.
Nice. That was an exceptional fight.
Yep. All right, so we're on to the final stage, and you're probably thinking like, well, this is going pretty quick. That estimate seems really generous. It is. I don't trust myself. So we've gone through 5 stages. In my PB, we'd be about 20 minutes into the run, give or take. The last stage takes 10 minutes because it is a non-stop boss gauntlet. So we're once again going to go ahead and lose the spear on purpose just to set up some safety in this stage. I really don't lose any time with the lack of damage until the boss rush. And the boss rush is where everything matters. So since it's the final stage, let's bring some gimmicks to the table. I'm sorry if your eyes hurt. So basically, I don't know what to look at in this stage. I just know where my feet are, and that's all I pay attention to do this section. It's still terrifying because it's really easy to lose track of stuff if you don't know where to focus.
Yep.
When you're doing a blind run, this is kind of where the game just says, "I'm sorry, did you want to have fun?" And now we're gonna do this.
Yes.
So left and right are not reversed, but up and down are, and this section's terrifying. So here we go.
Nice.
Nailed it. So that is easy, and I use that in very, very generous terms. As long as you never stop or slow down or miss a jump, you'll never fail there. But the second you're a bit off, you're in deep trouble.
Yep.
It should also note that, so Lacard is actually faster when he's walking than jumping, whereas Morris is the opposite. Both characters move the same speed when they're jumping. Also, Armor Battler's back, and he really, really, really wants to get to this party he's late for, but we're just going to deny. So ideally, you want to keep Lacard on the ground as much as possible, but obviously you need to break candles to get the spear back and things like that, so jumping's kind of a necessity. So we should be recollecting our super spear here up in the top room. Excellent. So now we're ready for the boss rush. We have 9 bosses to go through now before we can be finished with Castlevania Bloodlines.
Easy
And
peasy.
we're going to start out with Death. Death's a nerd. He really wants to play a game of cards. So we'll oblige. So we're going to refight 3 of the bosses from earlier, but they take double damage. So watch the health bar. Oops.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
this guy has a big problem.
Yeah. Once again, Super Sub Weapon just absolutely destroys Stone Golem, so we don't mess with him. If you have to do that fight straight up, that fight is terrifying because unlike the water level where you're in stage 2 where you have the raft floating down and you can kind of whittle away a little bit before the fight starts, you just start on the ground in this fight. So with Morris, that is the scariest part of the refight by a wide margin. So Death shoots like a stormtrooper. He's over there, but he's moving that way. But he was over there. I'm gonna shoot that. So we refight the Bat Gargoyle. Same thing, he takes double damage, but again, he's cycle-based, and you absolutely cannot over-damage him, so we just gotta wait.
It does make his cycles quite a bit shorter.
Yeah.
A little bit. Good, that's the hardest hit to get in this refight. Upstab just brings all the mileage for Lacard. If without Upstab, he would be borderline unplayable.
Yeah,
Like,
the upstab is ridiculously powerful.
Yep. So we have one more refight, a couple more Stormtrooper shots, and then we'll take on Death, who has the least health of any boss in the game in this version. However, without Super Sub Weapon, he's super dangerous for Lacard, so we don't want to lose that. Okay. And now we'll go ahead and refight Gear Boss. I discovered a really neat quick kill in when I rerouted Lacard, but it's very dangerous because there's a high chance I'll get hit, so we're gonna do the old-fashioned strat just for safety in this version. So he too takes damage much quicker, obviously, because everyone just takes double damage here. We're just gonna play this safe, let him flip here. So I can actually kill him without him flipping, but again, it's super risky.
Yeah, his hitboxes when he's flipping are pretty wild.
Also, Lacard's upper body strength is incredible. Just
Yeah.
all right, so let's fight Death. We again are going to get some mileage out of our Super Sub Weapon here. So, wow, just do a perfect fight on accident. Okay, that's
Well,
fine.
Seems legit.
That'll
Whoops.
work.
Nice.
I don't want to cut it that close and hit him with the super jump. That's just muscle memory saying, hey, do that thing that's really dangerous that you shouldn't do at GDQ.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure why you were going for that, but
I wasn't. I wasn't. My hands were. Blame them. So now we come to Elizabeth Bartley, better known actually as Bathory. But first she wants to be Medusa, so we'll just let her be Medusa. Medusa has the most health in the game.
She also has a impressively terrible set of attacks.
yeah.
Yep, like this one.
This one here is
Bad touch.
nice.
Bad touch. No, 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 no. No means no. Thank you.
I'd like to.
What?
Huh.
That's interesting.
Huh.
Unfortunately, that's going to cost us some time on Dracula, but the rest of it's not that big of a deal.
At
So.
least you lost it there and not before the fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll cost us some time on Drac, but it's only like 2 cycles. Not sure how I was close enough to get hit by that, but no big deal.
Humorously enough, it won't cost any time in this fight.
Nope. So this fight, you can only damage Elizabeth on her final phase of each orb kit here. And this is the only fight in the game where sub-weapons do full damage. So we have to do this for another 5 cycles or so. So if there's donations, this is a great time for them.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah. This is a neat concept, like the idea behind this fight was okay, it's just she doesn't take enough damage to justify how many cycles this is.
Yeah, this should have been
Yeah.
like 3 cycles if you
Yep.
did big damage hits.
Yep.
When I first saw this, I thought that the number of orbs that she spawns per wave were random.
I would have
And that
been
would've
very
been
upset.
The worst fight ever.
Yeah, that would have been bad news. So one more cycle will finish this off, thankfully, and then we'll move on to Drac.
Right, I do have a couple donations during this last cycle. Chris C73 said, gave $25 and said, great plays for a great cause. Kill the animals. Kill, kill, kill. Black Dog 88 gave $15 and said, Klaige, my hero. Big shout out to Michiro Yamane for composing the music for Bloodlines.
Yeah, this is an excellent soundtrack.
Yeah.
One of the games that really figured out how to utilize the Genesis sound chip to maximum capacity. Speaking of which, let's just play Simon's theme, because I don't know, why not?
It's a pretty good theme.
It is. All right, well, let's climb one more staircase and see how Drac wants to treat us. So again, I'm going to lose a few cycles on phase 1 of Drac. There's 3 forms of Dracula. The first one, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but he might teleport around and throw fireballs at you. The big difference with this one is the teleports are scripted. They're not random, so I always know where he's going to pop, so that's really helpful. So we'll go here. Now he's going to go where I'm standing. I kind of lose track after that, but in the back of my head, I know where he is. It's really helpful because you can just space your spear out to know when to hit him, and the spear has such a wide hitbox that no matter what projectile he throws, you can just get rid of it by jumping with a specific timing. So phase 1 is pretty trivial overall. But he would have been dead there with the powered-up spear. Instead, we got to take 2 more cycles. So again, you're seeing where like a single hit is a big time loss that happens later. All right, form 1 down. Now we're going to do phase 2. This is Shaft Light, or Diet Shaft, if you will. Please don't give a terrible pattern without spear. That's pretty good. Come down. No, no, no. All right, we can live with that.
Nice.
Ideally, I would kill him before the shadow image attack, but without powered up spear, it's a lot more difficult to do. So final form Drac, we're going to hopefully stun lock him into the corner and keep this very simple. So up stab, again, is going to prove just how silly it really is. So he's going to do Flame Breath. We really don't care, because up stab.
This
Alright.
attack is not okay.
Final phase.
AI does not understand upstab.
And... oh, okay, fine. Do it that way. And that's it. Time will be once the orb spawns and comes on screen. So none of those fights are terribly different without the powered up spear. They're just all slower because you lose, I think it's 3 points of damage from the difference between the spear and the powered up spear. And time. Okay. Well, other than the second blade costing us a lot of time, that's a really excellent marathon run. This this game is super dangerous to play in expert mode because you just fall apart really quickly. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for letting me do Bloodlines. It's always a pleasure and honor to do this and help fight cancer. So appreciate it. And it's Soten time next. We can't have GDQ without Soten, right? All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Fantastic run by Klaige of Castlevania Bloodlines. Up next, we are going to have Symphony of the Night. As usual, this is one of the favorites that we have pretty much every year. I don't think we've ever had a GDQ without Soten. So that's coming up next. Remember, this stream is powered by Twitch. We're extremely grateful for the help that they've given to this marathon. We have $100 from Rocco Mastro Giovanni, who said, another year, another AGQ. May the animal wars never cease.